I feel like it, well, for me, it was very gastrial. It wasn't so much the congested. I had it more intestinally.
Ooh.
So it was very interesting just to just to be with what was happening, no matter how bad the toilet was, like it was just holy. I mean,
Oh my
yeah, I
goodness.
don't wish it on anybody. It's not fun. But
Yeah.
God bless you, honey.
I'm feeling better. I still have some nausea, but that's okay. I'll take that over the other.
Yeah. All right, I
Uh,
think we're live streaming. So,
oh gosh, okay, good.
no,
Oh boy. Hello,
well, I don't think they
everybody.
heard all that.
Oh,
But,
good. Little too
and
much
even if they did, what
information.
the heck? This is
No
reality. This is
private thoughts, right? We've
no
all
private
had
thoughts. That's
moments
right.
with the porcelain throne, I'm sure. Oh boy. Hi,
All right, my dear.
Karen.
Well, turning this mic over to you, my dear friend
Thank you
Audzi.
so much. Thank you guys. I'm so happy to be back here reading for everybody. And hopefully everybody's feeling well health-wise and all that jazz. Health is so important. I mean, gosh, you don't realize it until you're horizontal or and in the throes of fever and all that, and you're just in a space where you can only just be with what's happening and accept it or not, but acceptance it was, and here I am. And last time we were reading in John Mundy's book, A Course in Mysticism and Miracles, Begin Your Spiritual Adventure. We were talking about what mysticism is not. And we had talked about a few points. I'll reiterate, mysticism is not vague, is not a mystery, it's not magic. Mysticism is not evangelical. Mysticism is not a cult. And next, mysticism is not self-promoting. Self-realization, enlightenment, is the only true result of a mystical experience. Although practiced mystics have been known to develop any number of extraordinary powers of perception and intuition. In fact, it's inevitable that abilities like these will develop quite naturally as the side effects of mystical development. Isn't that nice? I like that, having that connection when you think of someone like, and then they call or I'll phone someone and they say, I was just thinking of you. And, people say, oh, what a coincidence. But I truly believe that is part of hearing that voice and listening and saying, all right, it's time to call so and so. And I admit sometimes I don't listen to that. Part of my experience has been an overwhelm of, or I don't even know if it's an overwhelm or I made it up to be that, I would say, because I'm just understanding that, like, when I do call the person, it's so beautiful and turns out okay. But if I think about it, if I allow my mind to think about it and twist it, it'll say, oh no, I don't want to talk to that no, I don't have like 30 minutes right now, or blah blah blah. And it's all these excuses come out, and it's this and then I think it's anxiety, but it's not. It's just my thoughts. Well, it is, but it is anxiety. It manifests as that, but I'm just studying it deeper and realizing like I'm just making it up all myself as I'm just allowing the thoughts, the wandering, you know, we're much too tolerant of mind wandering, and just having the ability to be aware of what I'm thinking is, to me, a step in self-realization. I don't know if all people realize that, you know, that you're thinking and that you can see thinking happening, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if all individual experiences are that. So even, you know, an extraordinary power of perception and intuition could just be that that natural state of ours, and we think it's extraordinary, but really, is it? Is it just not who we truly are? The more we're conditioned to believe the way I was brought up, the further from the truth that seems. But I'm seeing now that, and I'll read here, in fact, it's inevitable that abilities like these will develop quite naturally, again, as the side effects of mystical development. But they are not the aim of it. Genuine mystical powers are not exhibited. I almost said prohibited. That's interesting. Genuine mystical powers are not exhibited, promoted, or sold like commodities. Ramana Maharshi, a primary teacher of Advaita Vedanta. Oh, I'm so terrible with pronouncing, but I think everybody knows what I'm trying to say. Did not publicize himself as a guru. You know, I thought today I was going to look up any words I didn't know and put them in how they sound to say them. And I may be doing that in the future here, because I think it's important to say things properly. So I may work harder on that as just something for myself so that I can feel more confident. So here we go. A primary teacher of Advaita Vedanta did not publicize himself as a guru. Yeah, I don't think
Advaita Vedanta.
Advaita Vedanta.
Vedanta.
Vedanta. Gosh, that's easy now that you say it. Advaita Vedanta. Thank you. Advaita Vedanta did not publicize himself as a guru. I have to say that my child went to French immersion all through his life. So that means he speaks fluent French and English, because he took all his studies up to grade 12 in French. And I am horrible. Like I just do not have the ability, even though I have French, my father, biological father, and all that family is French Canadian. I just am, I cannot roll my R's. I like, you know, green is V-E-R-T, it's veil, and I just say vert because I'm just horrible. And no matter how much my son tries to help me with the pronunciation, I just don't think it's in my wheelhouse of strengths. I really, truly, I know that's a block, but it's just so evident when I'm trying to do it. And he's just like, no, Mom, no, you just don't have it. But yet he was so good at, he's actually even took Japanese in his last 3 years. It was just one class, but I mean, he's got conversational Japanese. He just has this ear for an accent, this ability to pick up, which, like I said, I feel I don't have, but I do not mean any disrespect by it. I just am doing my best. So, okay. And I know that Ramana Maharshi, I don't believe he ever did write. Did he write? Or maybe I'm thinking of Nisargadatta, but yeah. I know that he did not publicize himself as a guru, and it says here by John, he never appointed successors and he never claimed to have disciples. He said regarding the development of psychic or occult powers, the idea that the master is one who has attained power over the various occult senses by long practice and prayer or anything of the kind is absolute false. No master ever cared a rap for occult powers. He has no need for them in his daily life. And isn't that beautiful? Because of course, it's the difference between a master to the ego or a master to God or source, the creator. That's how I see that. And our next, what mysticism is not, it's not retreat. Although mystics sometimes retreat from the outer world to develop a deeper awareness of inner reality, mysticism itself does not require retreat. Becoming a mystic does not require an escape from the so-called real world. In fact, practical mysticism calls upon us to be very present and aware of whatever is going on in the world without buying into its illusions. And just loving what is, accepting what is, I know. And also really looking at things. I remember, wasn't it, oh no, I forget his name, but the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I realized that even today when I got up after so many days of having been ill and whatnot, and I'm seeing myself just kind of going into the same maybe habit of get the teapot going and do this with the animals, but I just stopped and instead listened, which I know I haven't always done or even asked, what should I do now? And seeing that when I asked, I didn't just bulldoze, Audrey didn't bulldoze and get busy and start doing a whole bunch of things and wear myself out before this call even came up, because that's what I had done before. I know I had not been feeling well. Actually, October's not been the best month for this person for health-wise, but I just kept powering through. I'm not listening to, just taking things one step at a time and slowing down, even with the cleaning things that need to take place, like talking about rat poop on things. It's like, yeah, I have 3 birds, so I clean a lot because they poop. Usually, and they're pretty good. I mean, we have them trained. They do go on their paper and they even go in the sink. They're pretty cool, but it's always a lot of cleaning, and I'm just listening to myself, this capital S self. So very important to that. And our last, what mysticism is not, it's not time bound. Traditional religions place a major emphasis on the past, on sin, guilt, and fear, and an emphasis on what life is going to be like after death. Will we get to go to heaven? Will we go to hell? Mysticism, by contrast, takes the focus off time by bringing us into the present and into the ever-present presence of God as the only living reality. I really love this point, not time-bound, because I never thought of it like that. That is so true. In my Catholic days, I call them the Catholic days, It was all about, you went to confession, confess your sins, but then you got to do your whole Hail Marys and whatnot, and you were absolved of these things you did. Great. And you do that and you're going to go to heaven after you die. But what is that to do with now? I love that mysticism is bringing us into the now, this now moment as the only living reality. No past, no futurizing. And this is present in, this is, of course, Ellen was psychology. They were in psychology. And it makes me it's very interesting how there is such a parallel to the cognitive behavioral therapy and the course. You're changing your thinking, and there's different words. If you're over generalizing, there's all these points, and I mean, to me, it just confuses it. Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Am I in my wrong mind or right mind? I just like to stay there. Doesn't matter to me if I'm doing this or that or the other, but I love that there is something in this world now that I can read A Course in Miracles that I feel is closer to my truth. So I'm grateful for that. All right, we're on page 13. And the next section is called Initiation. And it says initiation, ignite. Initiation is not a word found in any dictionary. The word ignition means to set something on fire. The word initiation means a rite of passage from one stage to another. So therefore, John's saying to experience an initiation is thus to experience a trial by fire that instantly introduces a higher level of seeing, knowing, and being. Wow. A trial by fire. Many of the mystics of the Middle Ages who were burned at the stake by the Catholic Church and later also by the Protestants experienced a literal initiation while being released from the confines of the body. Oh boy. Take, for example, John Huss, a 14th century mystic who openly objected to the Pope raising money to fight wars and to the selling of indulgences, buying admission into heaven by donating money to the church. By selling indulgences, Huss said, the church was selling its own soul. Huss was publicly strangled and then, not yet dead, burned at the stake. It makes me think of a couple programs. I've had the TV on a little bit while horizontal here and watched this program called, geez, it's escaping me now. We started watching As the Light Shine. What's that movie called? The Light. It's about it's on Netflix, and it's about a blind gal. She's radio broadcasting in Germany, and the Nazis are there, and there's we're only a couple episodes into it, but it's just got me really fascinated with for first of all being blind and the ability to read, and just how your senses are so much different. Hearing, touch, and all that are heightened so much when one can't see. And this character in this program that I can't even remember the title to. I'll put it in the comments. Something about light. And it's just really, there's sad moments. I think of how these people had to, were forced to kill other people because of Hail Hitler, all of that jazz. And there is a sadness there, but also just seeing what is there for me to learn in this. I take that. So let's go here. Initiation to experience a trial by fire. Boy. So he's publicly strangled, burned at the stake. As the fire began to consume him, he cried out, "Christ, Son of the living God, have mercy on us." Wow. It's sort of in effect to forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And Jesus spoke that, or those similar words, upon his alleged crucifixion. This will say alleged, as the story goes. And John writes, "My own initiation experience was less spectacular, but no less enlightening. In 1976, I went through a dramatic ego death experience under the guidance of Salvador Roquette, a Mexican psychiatrist who combined the insights of Western psychiatry with shamanism. It was through this experience that I came to understand what the Course meant when it said there is no world, no time, no body, no me, and no you as separate individuals. I give details of this experience, which I call Holy Hell, in a previous book, Eternal Life and A Course in Miracles. I haven't read that book. I don't know if anybody has. If they have, love to hear what your comments on that publication was. Perhaps it'll be next reading of mine. I'm certainly loving John's writing. The experience was holy because of what came out of it. It was hell in terms of the ego-shattering death I went through. Hell comes in the fear of dying, in resisting God, and in thinking we can build a world without God. Roquette, probably, maybe he's French, Roquette, realized that the psychiatric methodology of administering drugs to treat people's symptoms not only does not heal them, it keeps them in a dreamlike stupor when what is needed for healing is awakening. Mystics must face reality, not run from it. Rather than putting us to sleep, as society does, as television often does, as repetitive religious rituals often do, as overeating and overdrinking do, Roquette chose instead to wake us up. He encouraged us to accept responsibility as spiritual beings in the universe. He asked us to say to ourselves and mean them the words given in the Course. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. That's from the text in chapter 21. And that's a big one to even come to terms with, that it's all my responsibility. It just made me think too of my family and just things that my family go through. And I think, oh, how could I teach this, or how could I say this to my family member to help? And just rereading this, it's like, no, Audrey, no, not about the family member. Look within my own mind. I am responsible for what I see. Why am I still seeing X, Y, and Z? Please show me. I am willing to see it differently. If I'm not at peace, then I must have chosen incorrectly, and I can choose to look again. I get to choose again and again and again until I see it in love and light. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful reminder. It's beautiful when the experiences are there that I can say, yes, I see evidence that this truly does work. It's my mind. It's what I'm thinking about it. It's absolutely the truth. And then it puts this desire in me to live the truth. It's different from this human desire of wanting something. It's this I can't even explain how it's become different for me in my life, just from reading ACIM to wanting to live and be as A Course in Miracles, always looking for and knowing that there is a change in my perception right around the corner if I just look again and ask. So mystics must face reality, not run from it, rather than putting us to sleep. He encouraged us to accept responsibility as spiritual beings in the universe, and the university, the school of life. He asked us to say to ourselves and mean them, the words given in the Course. Again, I'm reading this again. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. Unlike psychotherapy, which is often a slow and unproductive process that reinforces the ego rather than providing freedom from it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, reinforces the ego. Yeah, rather than providing freedom from it. That is how I felt when I was in therapy when I was younger. I didn't know it was reinforcing the ego, but I just felt like it wasn't helping me. And I was young at the time, so I didn't know how to say, this is not helpful. I was forced to keep doing it, to keep going to this therapy and doing what was said. It was against my own intuition. But what do you do when you're a kid and that's what you're told to do? You either do it or you maybe rebel like my kid did, and he kind of left. And you know how I've seen him doing it, which is completely different from what I did. I can see that that's his truth, and that feels refreshing to say, because wow, it's already 12 o'clock, because I had a lot of guilt with that. I'm just going to finish this chapter. So yeah, that's psychotherapy, reinforcing the ego. Initiation is more direct. In my own initiation experience, we lay inside sleeping bags, blindfolded with earphones covering our ears. Oh, we were given a dose of pure LSD Okay, followed a half hour later by an intramuscular shot of ketamine, a powerful muscle relaxant sometimes used to cure depression. The ketamine made it possible for us to move. This combination of drugs induced a metaphoric death experience that led to an awakening from the dream world. This kind of initiation is not a gentle path, but nothing will wake you up faster. I do not recommend it, however, since the course provides a more gentle means of awakening. This quote from text, chapter 16. Fear not that you will be abruptly lifted up and hurled into reality. Time is kind, and it will keep gentle pace with you in your transition. And then we come to a quote, and we'll stop there because we are going to talk about the right time, the right place, and 7 things that all mystics see. And we will take that up next week. I can't believe this goes so fast. Is half an hour enough? All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm just grateful to be here and reading this and learning for myself whatever it is I need to know to see truth, only truth, be and see